Hello. Well, thanks everyone for bearing with us. Originally I had the phone sideways and everything was sideways on the computer, so we're starting over again.
We're back.
We're back. We're going to be real cozy here, but I am going to get this shared, wait for a few people to join, and then we will jump into the interview. But this is LeeAnn Weeden. She's the owner of Glam by LeeAnn, and I am super excited to chat with her tonight because you'll see in 5 minutes, like, get her going and you will be so inspired to take on the world because she is so passionate about her vision and her mission, and I have had the honor of, being a part of her journey in a small way and just seeing how she's transformed her business in a way that is caring for her clients and also honoring to herself is just really inspiring. So I wanted to chat with her and kind of pick her brain and really just have a conversation because I feel like this interview can help so many stylists. So I'm going to get this shared and then we will get talking. Let's try this in. Yeah, I'm just trying to find out where right now. Okay. All right, looks good. I'm just going to share. It's not letting me. Friends timeline. Yay! Can I share this to your page?
Yes.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Oh, almost shared it too differently. Okay. Perfect. All right. So for anyone who is watching, I'm just going to be asking LeeAnn some questions. Feel free to join in the conversation. I'm going to be watching the comments on the computer and anything that you have to ask her about, please feel free to join in. Also, if anyone's watching now and you can't hear us or anything, let me know. But as far as I think, I'm hoping everything's okay. If you have any issues hearing, just let me know and we'll speak up. But cool. Make sure I'm watching the comments here. Maybe we can just we'll see if comments start coming through and I can't see them on there. We'll see. Okay, so hi.
Hello, Sam.
So I think it's really cool that we're able to still have this conversation in light of everything going on because one, I just feel like we need some positivity, with everyone not working and having clients cancel and just kind of the uncertainty. I feel like it's really important that we also focus on the positive aspects of our industry. And so, what a perfect time, right now to come in here and have this conversation. And whether we're working or not right now, we're all going to be, in a few weeks, back at work again. And so, using this time where we may be slower or maybe not working at all, to take this time and really reflect on our business and maybe some changes or mindset shifts we want to make when we come back. So that being said, I'd like to introduce LeeAnn Weeden. So you are the owner of Glam by LeeAnn, which I love the name of your business.
Thank you.
So first, I would just like you to maybe tell us about your specialty and how you got started in this industry, and maybe just tell us who you are as a stylist and your clientele and kind of what you're passionate about behind the chair.
Okay, so that was like 5,000 1,000 things at once. So
Sorry.
we'll just start with the first
Right. Well,
thing.
let's just start with, tell me about your, yeah, like, well, maybe start with what you do. The type of hair you do.
Yes.
Okay.
I am a texture stylist. I work on only textured hair, meaning curly, overly curly, unruly hair, all the above. Like, I'm the expert.
Yes.
That is my specialty. I used to do pretty much everything, but I narrowed it down to that because that was what I had the most fun with and just challenging. So I need a challenge. So I feel like that hair period is challenging, so that's why I chose to have that as a specialty. How
I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, how did you get started in the industry?
So I discovered this. This is actually, I feel like it's a gift. I mean, I feel like I was born to do this. It's very natural. I can do it in my sleep.
Yeah.
As a young girl, I discovered that I was very gifted and like talented with this. So just having like a huge family of women with multiple textures and, you know, mixed texture hair, it gave me an opportunity to work on everything. So as like a teenager, I was doing hair in the house and I discovered I was really, really good. So I'm like, oh, okay, so we put a license with this and we go professional and boom. Things
So
taking
you were
off.
saying like even in your family alone, there you had so many different textures.
So many different textures to work on and just get the experience before I even was licensed. So I think that gave me a really good boost to my career and lead me into being a texture specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. So what did your business look like when you got started a few years ago, and what does it look like now?
So I started off really young. Even though I was gifted and talented and my clients loved my work, business-wise, I didn't really know a lot. I was very young. So, you know, business was great, but it wasn't organized, I would say.
Yeah.
And orderly because I didn't know.
Yeah.
So moving later on, learning to invest in myself, then things got different.
So when you say like things weren't orderly, like what did that look like day to day in the salon and in your life?
Okay.
And maybe talk a little bit louder.
Chaotic is the perfect word for my young life as a hairstylist. It was chaotic. I was in the salon for very long, extreme hours, doing several people, not really knowing my worth as a stylist, undercharging, being overworked and underpaid, basically. So,
So what was the fear that kept you in that cycle before you made the decision to change things, which we're going to get to that in a minute, but I would really like for you to kind of, because I know so many stylists struggle with this, so like if you can explain what that fear was inside of you and in your mind, like what was going to happen if you did things differently, what you thought was going to happen.
The biggest fear I had was that the clients that I had would leave if I made any changes as far as like raising prices or changing the systems of things and like revamping the business. Basically, I always would be afraid that what needed to be done, those changes I needed to make, would like leave me with nobody and I would have to start over, basically.
Yeah.
So that was the fear that I had why I didn't make those changes for so long.
Like I know what I want to make, but I know these people that are coming to me right now would never pay that, so now I'm stuck in this cycle of I can't ever change anything without,
So I studied my own growth by being fearful to make those changes that were extremely necessary to, you know, advance my career and just my business period.
Okay. So what does your business look like now?
My business now is actually thriving. I'm very satisfied. I'm very happy. I'm still in a building stage, but at another level. So I'm really happy where the business is, and I'm excited to see where it's going because of the things that I'm implementing now.
So I know earlier you talked about chaotic, working long days, not being consistent. I don't know if you said this, but like you weren't necessarily consistent with like.
No, I wasn't consistent. I was very inconsistent with things.
So what does it look like now?
Systematic.
Yeah.
Systematic, a bit more peaceful. Well, a lot more peaceful. That was like the main thing, was getting me peaceful and then getting my business peaceful. So I didn't make chaotic money anymore. You know, I can peacefully grow and enjoy what I'm doing.
Yep.
So now things are more orderly. I've learned to put systems and policies in place, you know, have backup plans for things like this when we are forced, you know, this coronavirus is really out of our control. So having things in place to say that I'm not just, you know, out of work. I'm really not.
Yeah. Oh, there was something I was going to say, but it just ran out of my mind. Hold on.
Investment.
No, it was. Oh man, it's gone. Okay, so. Oh, this is what I was going to say. One of the reasons that I wanted to have you on here specifically is because, and I was saying this to you earlier, but I kind of want to say it to the people watching, is to me, success is not just how much money you make. I don't care how much money you make. If you're working 12-hour days and you hate your life and all you do is work and you're working yourself to the bone and you're crying at the end of the day because you're in pain, and like, I don't care how much money you make, to me that's not success.
It's not.
You know, success is not just about money. To me, success is making that money and also enjoying your life and having it be peaceful every time you come into work, because the more peace you create in your life, actually the more money you make. So you can continue to grind and work 12-hour days, sure, but every dollar you earn is going to be hard worked for. When you start creating peace in your business and peace in your life, actually money flows to you easier. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you perform chaotically and your business is chaotic and you're making if you're making chaotic money and your performance is chaotically, like she said, long shifts, overworked, and just
run around like a chicken.
Run around like then that's the kind of money you're going to attract. If you're peaceful and you're confident in what you're providing as far as services in your business and your brand, and you stand behind that strongly, then you're peacefully and organized with that brand that you've created, then that's the kind of money you'll attract, is peaceful money. And that's success. You get to enjoy it, make it, and enjoy it. I mean, what is this entrepreneurial life if you can't enjoy it?
Yep.
What's it all about?
Yep.
I mean, you might as well clock in somewhere and keep slaving.
Right, right. So, and I actually wanted, this wasn't on my list of questions, but one of the things you touched on earlier was putting things in place to prepare for unexpected things like this. So can you share a little bit about an example of that? Like, what have you done that's kind of prepared you for this emergency situation where we might, you know, where things might be slowing down, or?
Well, just like financially, you know, let me just say this. In the beginning, when I was making chaotic money, I knew nothing about that. I was just a kid. Yeah, so just like investing in myself and getting financial education teaches you what works for you personally in your business. So when you get these, what I call rainy days and moments where things are out of your control, or your sick days, or so, protect you from just like going under, you know, taking your time to build this brand and make this money, and then something happens and you're like, oh, I have nothing, you know. So that's mainly what I'm talking about from a financial standpoint.
Yeah, so investing in financial education for
Yes,
yourself.
financial education is important, and that's something like I know where I come from as a stylist, that is not a huge topic, and that's a big issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, there needs to be a lot of awareness for that, because so many people of my community as stylists, we are overworked and underpaid. So just having awareness and investing in that, in your brand and in you, I mean, it could save you a ton to not, you know, take you under after all your years and time of work that you spent to build your business. So it's very, very important.
Yeah, because I know a lot of, there's a mentality that, and I used to have this mentality too, that I can't afford to invest in my business, or I can't afford to put aside savings. And the reality is you can't afford not to, because if you don't do something to get you out of the paycheck to paycheck situation, it's never going to happen. And actually investing in your business, or even, putting aside savings before paying anything else, will start to generate that income that you're trying to attract. Because what you put out there and what you make a priority is what grows. So if you are focusing on lack and what you don't have, that what's going to grow? Lack and not having. But like when you are intentional with your money and with your business, and you are being proactive about creating a safety net for yourself and investing in the things that's going to build your business, that's what's going to happen. You're going to attract more of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So have you, I know the answer, this is the question I'm going to ask everyone, but have you worked with a coach before, and why?
I have worked with a coach before. My coach was everything amazing. I knew that I needed something. Before I started coaching, I knew I needed something. I needed something more. I'm like, somebody has to have answers to getting me to another level. I didn't have them all. So I saw this really cool stylist, and she was actually marketing her coaching business, and it just so happened to be Samantha. I mean, why not?
Right?
And she, when I say she coached me, she coached me every bit of the way to another level of success. And that was probably one of the best investments that I made in my business and my brand. And myself. I mean, it helped me personally so much, because the brand starts with you. Like you have to be in a position to open your life up to these things and to make changes and create changes. That's why you don't need chaos.
Yeah. So I would just share a little bit about my first conversation with you.
Okay.
and just kind of like talk about, because before we went on, we talked about, sharing kind of the things that you did to really flip your business. But when I first talked with LeeAnn, and like I said, like you have a conversation with her about working with textured hair and textured stylists, like she wants to change this industry and flip it on its head. And so every conversation I've had with her has just been so inspiring. And the first time we spoke and she shared with me about her business, I just remember thinking, like, you are such an expert here. Why are you being run around by your clients? Like, I don't understand how, this is the situation here, because she is so knowledgeable about, oh my gosh, I learned so much just through having conversations with you. And so the first thing that we talked about was, one of the issues, is it okay if I share a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So common.
Okay, so one of the issues she was having was that her clients were not rebooking for the services that they needed in order to maintain the look they were going for. And so basically she was, if they wanted if they wanted to have, their hair, if they wanted to have the silk press, they needed to, come back in a certain amount of time for this treatment, and then they needed to come back in a certain amount of time for this treatment. And there were certain things that they needed to maintain in order to keep their hair healthy, because that's what she cares about, is keeping the hair healthy. Well, what was happening was they weren't rebooking for those services, and by the time they did come back, it's so much more work for her, because now we're not maintaining, we're kind of starting from square one again. And so she was very discouraged, because she wasn't ever getting to the point where things were just being maintained. And so I remember that conversation. I was like, well, this is what needs to happen. If they want this service with you, then what happens is, they need to commit to this maintenance, and they book that maintenance before they leave. And if if they don't come back for that amount of time, well, now it's more because we're starting from square one. And she was like, nope, you don't understand. That's not how it works. My clients won't do that. No, she was so convinced.
I convinced myself what wasn't going to happen.
Me convinced that maybe this won't work. I don't know. I mean, I have never talked to anyone so sure that that this couldn't work out. And I mean, because you were like, no, girl, you don't understand. Like, this is a whole different world. And so I'm like, really, I really was questioning if my tactics would work, right? And so I'm just gonna let you take it from there and share the changes you implemented and what happened when you did.
Okay.
And how quickly things switched.
Yes. So part of it, there's a couple things to why that was going on. First, I'll take responsibility for why, because on my end, I had fear that these things, that I couldn't implement these things that were necessary for my clients and to keep the integrity of their hair. Like, it just, that was me afraid to make changes. So a lot of it was my fault that I hadn't already placed those new things into the business and the pricing and the menu and all of that to make sure that I'm offering this. It was always a fear. And then two, I did have a lot of people that would say, no, I don't want that, just give me this. Like, kind of telling me what to do, basically.
Yeah. You're just like, okay.
Not all, but just, quite a few, like, no, I don't think I want that. And it's like, well, you really, really need this, and it's really, really necessary, or else you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. And they just weren't hearing it. So after, coaching with Sam, and she showed me, like, if it's necessary, then you have to do it. And if you know that this is what is needed with your services, then just put it into place and, incorporate it into how you do things, and that's just that. And I'm like, okay. So I finally did that, and the results were like phenomenal, because not only did I see that I had an amazing clientele, nobody left. Nobody. Yeah. Everybody was like honoring how I was doing things, and everybody's got gray hair.
Yeah, right? And they're happier,
so
right?
They're much happier because now, they're like, oh, that improvement and this, that, and the other. I'm like, what was I scared of for like 75 years for not doing this? Yeah. So it just went amazing. And then, of course, my numbers went up. And I guess from showing what I was doing, learning marketing also from my coach, showing how to display my work and what I'm doing, and with marketing and branding and all that, then now I'm flooded with new people like, I want that.
Yeah.
Like, give me some.
So, like, how quick did that shift happen?
Oh,
it was
my
almost instantaneous,
goodness.
wasn't it?
It was like instant. So within 2 weeks, I got within a week, I had so many new clients, potential new clients contacting me. And then within a couple weeks, the books were like filled. And I was like, okay, my existing clients, let's get you pre-booked permanently.
Yeah.
And make sure, because like we're on overload here, and I do not want anybody left out. So it went really fast, and I'm really happy. I'm just that simple change, and the root of it was fear. Do not be fearful to make necessary changes to advance you, the business, the brand, and to give high-end services. If you're going to give high-end services, you got to give it all. You can't be afraid to adjust what needs to adjust to make your services high-end.
Yeah.
So I wasn't high-end at first.
You are now, though.
Here we are.
Right? Well, the one thing, too, that just kind of dinged for me was, I remember there's a specific conversation where we were talking about this, and I said, the word that really, I guess, rooted for you was educate. When I was like, LeeAnn, educate your clients. And you were like, oh, educate them. I'm not just trying to sell them something. I'm educating them. And so that was the piece we touched on but didn't really go into detail, was I was telling her, like, you are doing something that no one else does. And so you need to be sharing that experience online. You need to be educating your followers on what you're doing and why it's different. And so she just made a few posts, right? And you were just flooded with new people. And so the combination of her taking control of her business and her bookings and basically saying, if you're getting this service, you have to get, you have to get all of these services. So your income went up, but then also you're flooded with new people just by sharing online what you were doing. In detail,
what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, educating not only my clients, but, other stylists who are just unaware of these things. It's so common for people not to know what they need or how they need. So from both, I guess from both ends, from stylist end and unaware stylists. And then the clients really exposing what I'm doing and why, what you're paying for, why you need these treatments, explaining and giving product knowledge and just, education on textured hair.
So can you share a little bit about what you do that's different that a lot of people do, for textured hair?
Yes. So this is so simple, but it's so meaningful to clients. Taking the time, what we just hit on, is educating them. Taking the time to educate them on their hair, the maintenance that's required, giving them a regimen of what they need to do, their take home, their products, all of those things. So many times clients come in, I have so many clients who come in, they've never had a consultation before, a thorough consultation to see if you're a fit for them as a stylist. When I do a consultation, both of us need to fit each other, because if what I do doesn't fit your goals, then I'm going to have to either give you a referral or I just can't take them on as a client. Both people have to be comfortable.
Consultations before?
Yes, that's another thing I put into place. Consultations are required because textured hair is a timely thing. Consultations are required before any new guest and chemical services, because it's so timely and it's just a challenging texture. Of hair, you want to be prepared. You want to be prepared for what you're doing. You don't want any peekaboo stuff coming and then the whole day is just screwed over. And everybody behind them is so mad. And they're like, well, who is she? She needs to go. I've never seen her before. So.
Well, and that reminds me. So I remember when we first, because that was one thing that you were running into.
Wait. What we were saying about what do I do different? Offering services that include not only the service, but the consultation and the education behind what I'm doing. So I'll take one service that a lot of salons don't offer, and that's kind of like the wet set wash and go. That's what I label it as. A lot of people call it wash and go or whatever, where you set the natural hair and you allow them to see what their hair is, their natural curl pattern, and to embrace that, and teaching them, walking them through your process and what products you're using, giving them education on the products and knowledge of why they're using it. And believe me, they want to take it home, because if you're the expert and you know what to put on the hair and it's working, and you style them and they are happy with their look, which I'm probably at 100% with the happy at the look, then there's your take-home package for them to dip into your retail. So that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I love that. So the consultation, I remember
I didn't require them at first. And things would get messy. So when I had a new client and they had surprise hair, what I call surprise hair, meaning 5 heads of hair. Then the whole day was off. I disappointed the clients behind them. Time-wise, things weren't going smoothly. It would just kind of mess up things, because you're trying to get prepared for something that you aren't prepared for while you're working, and it kind of slows down your process. Like me, I have every step in my head when I'm doing all day. I have my system in my head while I'm moving and working. So if somebody comes in and I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta map all this out, while I'm trying to work, and it's just got chaotic. So requiring consultations before new guests has really, really given me a lot of peace, and clients a lot of clarity on what they're getting, and that gives them a level of comfort as well, because when I'm new, to someone, they're going to a new style. I get a lot of people that are not from St. Louis that come in, and they're looking for a new stylist. You want them to be comfortable, and they want to feel comfortable with what you're doing. So that's your time to explain everything and connect with them.
Yeah.
And also, show them what you're providing if you can do that.
So, and that was something that you were nervous to put into place, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I don't have time.
right.
You better make time when you're gonna make money.
Well, and that's exactly it. So your mindset shift around that, because of course, looking at it like, do I really have time to meet with every person before I do their hair? But do you really have time not to? Because what's happening now isn't working. Mm-hmm. And I remember having that conversation of, this can look like whatever you want it to look like. This doesn't have to look like anything you've seen before.
Right.
And your clients love the consultation.
They do, and every new client that I've gotten,
they've been so
they're
grateful.
like, thank you so much for giving me a consultation. Nobody does that, I just come on in and I guess who my stylist is, and I go to the shampoo bowl and I go find my place. And,
yeah.
It's so common for things to go like that, but I didn't want to do what was common. I wanted to do what was right and what would, set my business apart as well. Mm-hmm. And just make clients comfortable with me and what I'm offering them.
Yeah.
I really believe in giving good service. I'm not perfect. Everything doesn't go smoothly every day in the salon. The salon can be nuts sometimes. But, going through coaching,
but it goes smoothly a lot of the time. Yeah,
it goes smoothly a lot of the time. Just implementing all these things that I've learned what not to do and put into place what to do has really, really helped me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. Integrity. One of the things that we were talking about before we went on was, you were talking about the integrity, maintaining the integrity of the hair while also giving
being versatile.
Be versatile.
So, one of my investments was working with a product that I wasn't really, I just looked over it. I didn't really know. So, the B3 Demi Permanent Treatment by Brazilian Blowout, I am a major, major, major fan. That has really, really changed how I do things. So,
one second. If anyone's watching, just let us know. I think we're talking loud enough, but if you can't hear us, just leave a comment and let us know. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Go on.
That's okay. Using that has really helped to allow my clients to be versatile with their hair, because most of them they wear their natural texture out freely, just wet and curly, but they also want to do blowouts and silkening, often. So the only, I have been trying for so long to figure out, how do I do this without interrupting the curl pattern, with the integrity of the hair from root to end staying intact and giving them this versatility. And that product and that treatment has really, really done it for me. So that's something that I totally require for all guests.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Yes.
You require
it's
that.
It's a requirement, and they're okay with it because they're getting the results that they want.
Mm-hmm. So would you say, because we talked earlier about how you didn't lose any clients when you made these shifts, would you say that your guests that have been with you through this whole transition are happier now?
Yes, I think they're happier now with the changes that have been made, and just upgrading service. Mm-hmm. I think they're much happier, and that's why I love my clients. I love them. They are very, very supportive. So everything that the business has shifted and changes, they have still been there. They still supported my business, and they are still, happy to support me, and just great relationships. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even though
hey, any of my clients
so even though they're paying more, they're happier, because people are
people
would rather pay more and get better service
Yeah.
than save a buck and not have amazing
Yes.
hair, right? Not that you weren't doing amazing hair before, but
Yeah.
now that you have
less chaotic
gotten-
and just got the peaceful flow for them.
And
They're
then the
much more pleased.
atmosphere.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're much more pleased. Yeah, and when you're working chaotically, your clients can feel that, and that energy spreads around your the salon. So you don't want to do that. You want to get it intact, get it under control, and then you can peacefully, happily offer services. You're happy at work. Everything that you are affects what we do. This is physical. This is an intimate service. It's just you and them. So
Yeah.
definitely will affect them. So
Yeah.
I had
It
to
really
get
does.
in
I
line.
mean, it's a subconscious thing, but it really does it affects everything. And once you really take control of your business and set the atmosphere to be a calm and peaceful one, it's really amazing the change you see in your clients.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So what I was going to say is something funny but very, very real. I cater to lots of professional women, and everybody in there is basically, and this is normal for everybody's life, but these women are on schedules. They don't have time for me playing around.
Right,
So,
right.
Somebody's trying to get home to their kids, somebody's trying to go to a soccer game with little John, and
Right.
somebody trying to get to a date with their
They
man
don't
or
have
get
time
back
for
to
you
the
to be
office.
running 30 minutes behind because
Yeah,
you have a
people have
surprise
lunch
text your
appoint-
client.
Thank you. People have lunch appointments. They're like, girlfriend. So they are looking for luxury services, and I don't think that, being tight with every dollar is an issue. It's like, give me what I am asking for, which is quality and efficient time. And that is like my main goal with them. And I think that's why they're happy. It wasn't like, hey, LeeAnn, I want to be a client, but let me see how much you charge first. It's like, no, you presented to me that you offer luxury services and that I was going to get this, and that's what I came for.
Right.
Give me that.
Give me that.
You know?
Yes. And so just to wrap it back to, and really quick, if anyone's watching, I have about 2 more questions here, and then we'll be done. So if anyone has any questions for LeeAnn, now would be the time to start sending them in. But just to wrap that back around, when you were saying, I don't know if I'll have the time to do consultations, like how much time has that actually saved you now?
It saved me a lot of time from ruining things, from other clients, from just ruining my day with the surprise hair and all of that. That takes down the quality of service that you give. So by creating time, to do the consultations has saved me from losing. So I'm actually gaining by creating that time, because most of the time when I do a consultation, mainly all of them become permanent clients because of that 15 to 20 minutes that I took out to,
Meet with them before.
meet with them and connect with them. I really do it for connection as well, because this is so personal, and especially to my sisters, y'all know how we do. If they don't connect with you, they're not sitting in your chair.
Yeah.
So, because I ain't either.
Right.
We like, no, sis ain't right. But just to connect with them and make sure that it's a good fit for both parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh gosh, there was something. Oh, and then one thing I just wanted to add on to that is, what do we do when we're running late and we feel bad, right? We get, one person comes in and they have more hair than we expect, and so we're running behind for our other clients, and then we get them to the checkout and we're giving them free stuff and we're discounting and we're sending, so like it's costing you so much money because we all do that, right? Like out of feeling bad for running so far behind, we're knocking stuff off our prices, off our services, so it actually saves you way more money in the long run to build out that time beforehand. Or in my case, what I do is, especially if it's a new client, like I will book extra time, more than I think I need, 15 to 30 minutes more than I think I need with each client. And then I also have a mini text consultation before I will even put them on the books, and that's when I have them send me photos of what they like, send me photos of their hair, and I give them, the ballpark of everything. But for me, it's enough that I see photos, that I can kind of gauge, okay, and then I'll add myself extra time. But how it worked for your business was, it works better for you to have that. Yeah, you do the text.
Yeah, so a lot of times, like, I feel like I'm experienced enough and at a level to where I can judge density of hair and I can judge texture by certain photos. So sometimes clients that aren't getting chemical services or color, or they're getting like basic services that are simple. I wouldn't say basic, but more simpler services. I can do phone consultations, you know, for those services. So pictures always help me. So usually what I have them do is send me a picture of the hair wet and dry, and you know, a picture of what your goal. What are you looking to get? So that's been that cuts down on time as well, because when I get off and I can do my calls and callbacks and all that, then that saves me time from spending more time like behind the chair. I kind of be mommy and work at the same time with it.
Yep. That's actually another question that I don't have on here, but how do you balance your time behind the chair and your business hours and your time off?
Okay, so how I balance now or when I was crazy?
Both. Let's talk about both.
Okay, when I was crazy and I was losing my mind, didn't even know how to balance. I can't even spell it then.
Balance shit.
Balance what? Like,
right?
Y'all go get something to eat, tell the kids feed themselves? No. Okay.
Right.
So that's before I learned from Coach Sam to invest in a very, very detailed planner and write things down. I was a clown. I was not writing anything down. Girl, my brain was out to lunch when I got off work. So getting organized, like having a detailed planner and writing things down, putting things in my phone, alarms of everything what I have to do, and just, one thing that I do is I meditate in the morning. So I get up and try to start the day off peacefully before I even, do anything. Because if you start off with peace, then you can end with, you can have more.
How much did that change your life?
Girl, tremendously. Thank God.
Right?
Meditation. So meditating gets you, if you start off with peace, then 9 times out of 10, you are in control in the day. Not that everything is going to go perfect, but
everything doesn't have to
your
upset.
energy.
Yep.
Yeah, everything. It's, you don't have to get in an uproar about everything if something does unexpectedly happen. So you kind of have more control over your day and you're more peaceful. So, all this stuff you got written down to do and your alarm's going off, it's like going through your checklist and doing it.
Yeah.
Order is key.
Yes.
Order.
Yep. So, like, you schedule in your salon time, obviously, but then do you schedule in time to work on your business?
Girl, my whole life is scheduled.
Yeah. Yes.
My whole life, like my kids' life, my life is in one book.
Yep.
And alarms on my phone like a psychopath. So just like everything that I have to do, and then days I've learned to separate, like work days, do everything for work. Off days, take care of everything.
Off days, I am
off
not
days,
working.
Be off, be mom, be soccer mom, be cleaning lady. I'm a maid too at home. Ask my kids, I'm a maid.
Right.
They don't hardly clean up, but we gonna talk about that.
Right. That's for next time.
Yeah, that's for the next show. But yeah, just scheduling in when I'm gonna do things. The times, just like giving my day order.
And I know, like,
I get things done.
Yeah. And it sounds really overwhelming and I know I went through this when I first started planning. I'm sure you probably went through it. It seems really overwhelming to sit here and say plan all those things out, right?
Yes. Because when she said it to me, I was like, she is crazy. I'm like, can you please tell me how you did this? Because it's not registering.
Yeah. But then you did it a few times, and now it takes you a half hour?
Yeah.
And your whole week runs in peace.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? One thing that Sam showed me was just like writing things into existence and journaling. Oh my goodness, that just like opens the door for the best word to say is space. Space. Like that was an amazing tool too. So like combining meditation and journaling, that was really that created a big shift with me.
Yeah.
So it was really, it made it easier for me to do what I needed to do with the business.
Yep.
At that point.
I love it.
That
So
was awesome.
I just need to give a little shout out to my coach, Jamie Thurber, who she's the one that actually taught me how much, how freeing planning is, and like, you know, building in that not only work time, but the play time and the off time and sticking to it. And that actually makes you way more productive in your business time.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to, I mean, here's living proof. Like, I talk about it all the time, but she's here sitting saying the same thing.
It works.
And I'm not paying her to say it, so.
No, I ain't getting no check this
Right,
time.
not this time.
When the show get big enough, I'll be begging.
Right, exactly.
But right now, she on a budget with this.
That's right, follow her on a budget. Any advice, or what's something, I know we talked about this, is there anything else though that you want to talk about, and it's okay if the answer is no, but that you've invested in your business and why, or you feel like you covered the main things?
I think I covered the main thing. What sticks out to just say, because I struggled with it for years, and it took me a long time to really reach my level of my goal of what I call success, because I didn't know, and I was just like not even focused on that, but just financial education and knowing, you know, knowing that piece of the business, you know, what you need. If you have to, like I invested in a financial advisor, so you know, a lot of stylists come straight out of high school, or, you know, my community of stylists, we come straight out of high school, we are gifted and talented in 7th grade doing hair. Yeah. You know, like, it's just a thing, but, you know, you don't go to college, or you don't come from a background where somebody sat you down and just taught you all of this, you know, or it's just not in your reach to know these things. Yep. Get out there and get what you need to advance yourself, you know, and to add to you, and so that you can do what's necessary for your business and your brand, and you will be free. You know, you're gonna always feel stuck if you don't invest in what you need. So everywhere you're weak, then you go invest in whatever's gonna make you strong. So if you want to pursue,
that's such a good way to put that.
Yeah, whatever you're passionate about, and you don't feel strengthened in the area, you can always go out and find whatever you need to invest in it, to bring that back to your brand. So if you want to be the best, you know, cutter in town, go to the brands that you admire, and you take the education from them until you master what you want. You know, like, you have to invest in yourself. Every area where you think that you're weak, where you want to be, your goals, not comparing yourself to Sally and Sue that's doing hair, but what you want to do. Invest in every area of that and master it, and you will be so free, and you will feel what you call success.
I love that. The phrase that keeps coming to mind as you were talking was nothing changes if nothing changes. Right. So if you, and I know we were talking a lot about investing, but that doesn't have to mean money, that can mean time. Everything is a Google search away, you know? So like, if you truly don't have, and especially right now, like in this moment, in the next few weeks, where we're maybe not spending as much money as we normally would on things, everything is a Google search away. You can find something, you can find free education for just about anything
now. You know, so there's no excuse of why you can't overcome certain things. You can do whatever you put your mind to. You know, you just have to put one foot forward in front of the other and just do it.
Because I know before I hired my coach, and everything was kind of like, I was kind of figuring this out myself and like self-taught, like I was constantly investing time into figuring out what I wanted to become better at. Okay, I want to learn about how to manifest these things. I'm reading books all the time on, you know, on attracting things into your life, and I'm looking up, you know, Googling what are the best times to post on Instagram and Facebook. Like,
start doing the work.
Yeah, exactly. There's no excuse for not, and I don't mean that in like that came out wrong, but there's an answer for everything if you're willing to put in the time to look for it, and it doesn't have to cost money.
I totally agree.
Yep.
Totally. The only thing that will stop you is yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and it just starts with a decision.
Yep. Because working with a coach really it's motivating and it accelerates your results because you have someone there kind of going through with you, looking at an outside perspective, keeping you motivated. But if you don't have the money for that yet, you can
start
be your
somewhere
own
else.
motivator. You just have to hold your own self accountable.
Yes.
You know, for your own education and your own building of whatever it is you're trying to build.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Because I know you did that for a long time. You became so educated, and that's how you became the expert. I mean, you spent so much time in learning how to care for all the different types of textures.
Yes.
You know?
Because that was what I was really like interested and passionate about. And I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do that? You know, like all of these questions I had, I just kept, you know, searching and paying for whatever education I needed to get those answers and to implement those things into my business, you know, and
Yeah.
my craft, what I was doing.
Okay, so last question. Let me check here to make sure.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, I don't see any. We keep getting people joining and leaving. So, like I said, this is my last question. So if anyone on wants to ask LeeAnn anything, speak now or forever hold your peace. But what advice would you give for someone new in the industry?
Someone new, I would say figure out what kind of stylist you want to be or what you want to be in the industry and what you really are passionate about. Figure you out. You know, what do you want to go for? Like me, I do texture hair. That's just all I'm passionate about. I color it. I keep it healthy. You know, I specialize in figuring out, making sure that they can have versatility with the hair, with it still being healthy. Like those are my passions. Figure out what your passions are and what you like, where you want to go specifically in this field, and master that. A lot of times people get into it, I believe, and try to do everything to build, and that can drive you nuts. You know, you may not be interested in doing everything. So if you want to do strictly coloring, and that's your passion, and that's your fire and desire in the industry, then you just continue to perfect your craft, educate yourself in coloring, and master coloring, and become the colorist that you want to be. Don't try to be a weaveologist and do all this other stuff that you're not interested in. You know, don't promote what you don't want. There's another thing I learned from Sam. If you don't want to do that, don't push it.
Yeah.
You know, don't promote it. So when you know, I think in beauty school we kind of get our hands on everything, just kind of like everywhere, but inside of you, you know what you want to do. So figure that, and if you don't, just figure that out, you know, with your experience, and master that, and always be open to learning and education. And one big thing, networking. Do not limit your networking. Don't stay in your comfortable bubble and network with only what's familiar to you. It's useless if you only network with what's familiar to you. You have to go outside of what you know and be exposed. That's with anything.
Yeah.
So with this industry, be exposed, you know, discover new things and new people that you admire, and you're just like, wow, you know, connect. You know, networking and connection is everything in every industry, so don't limit that. Always network and be willing and be, you know, open to new things, new exposure. That can take you very far.
Love that. Thank you. And the one thing that you said that I loved was focus on what you want to do. And so I just want to kind of put this like analogy, not even analogy, but like think about if you want a specific look done, like you want a intricate color process, or you want just anything that is a little bit more detailed than just like, you know, your basic color service, your basic cut, or you have textured or curly hair, which I know every person that has textured or curly hair has a horror story. Everyone that has blonde hair has a horror story. If you're looking for a service like that, do you want to go to someone who on their page they promote everything,
yeah.
anything and everything? Or do you want to go to the person that only does that one thing and you go to their page and it looks like they are the expert at it? Or do you, and not saying that doing everything is wrong, because if you truly are passionate about doing everything and you love it, go ahead and do it. Make sure you're promoting all of those things equally. But if you're trying to be a jack of all trades, but that's not really where your heart is, there is absolutely nothing wrong with just focusing on that one thing, and that's actually going to bring in a lot more of those people, because they are going to feel more comfortable going to the person that does that all day long.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to assure them that I'm going to get what I want.
Yeah.
You know, when I go in, I'm going to be happy when I leave. That's what that says.
Yeah. So, okay, I lied. I have one more question that spurred from your last answer. So, that was, what you would say to a new stylist. What would you say to someone who has been in the industry for a while and is running that crazy, chaotic business where they are letting their clients dictate their schedule? They're coming in at all hours. They're, they're working 12-hour days, or they're working 4 hours here, then they have a 2-hour gap, but then they're coming in later because this person asked them to come in later, and everything is always moving pieces and nothing is peaceful, but they feel like they have to keep operating that way or they're going to lose their people. Like, what would you say to that person to do differently tomorrow?
I would say stop and think about, do you want to continue like this? Like the work we do is very physical. You're almost like a football player. You only got so many years in a game. So, sit back and try to plan, start planning everything. And if you don't know how to stop that chaos, invest in a coach that can teach you how to stop that chaos, and to create what you want your brand and business to become. If you don't have the tools to do it yourself, invest in someone who can teach you how to do that.
So, just you creating that piece in your business, that brought you in thousands of dollars in the first 4 weeks,
yes.
right? Like thousands.
Yep.
And so, like, when I say to people, you have no idea how quickly you can make the money of the investment of coaching back. I really freaking mean that. Like, I haven't worked with anyone who hasn't made more back than the cost of the investment within the first few weeks, because it truly is, and here's your advice from both of us. You want to generate thousands of extra dollars next month, create peace in your business.
Yes.
Say no. Say no to the things that are driving the chaos. Stick to your schedule. Tell your clients, if you want this look, you have to get all of these services. And if they say no, then you're not the stylist for them. I promise you, the minute you stop accepting chaos into your life, you start attracting the clients who want that piece you're creating. And they don't care what it costs. They want to be in your salon because you have that peaceful atmosphere, because you are acting like you're the professional and telling them what they need, and it really is the law of attraction.
It really is. It really is. Once you learn that, then you see how controlled your business and environment becomes once you learn that.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking with me tonight. So great to see you. Is there anything else that you want to say before we hop off here?
It was something and it totally slipped my mind. Something you said.
Oh, I know that feeling.
What is it?
You rub your belly. Does
I
that
know. Maybe you know, baby. Maybe you know. Talk for us. Oh my goodness.
We can sit for a minute.
It just totally slipped me. Oh, I was gonna say, when you look at coaching and investing in things, sometimes it looks so expensive to you because you're afraid to make any move. You're afraid to really like do something new, spend your money on invest in what you need to. You always think, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, figure out what you can do. Like Sam said, where do you start? You get on Google and you start there.
Yeah.
We're all on the internet. Everybody is addicted to social media. Hello. So
yeah.
Who do you admire that has it in order, that you are looking at as a stylist, whether they're local or they're somewhere on the other side of the world? What are they doing that you aren't, that will get you to what you admire about them, will give your business to where You know, it's what are they doing? You know, reach out to people, connect to other stylists. Hey, I just have a question. You know, you touched on this about, say they spoke on putting systems in place or giving advice online. You know, inbox them, message them, just give it a shot and see, will they connect with you and kind of give you some free advice? Because I know myself, people reach out to me all the time, and you know, I give away free information. I'm all about creating change.
Yep.
So if that person, you know, if I spoke on something that they were empowered by and they want details, I'm gonna give it to them.
Yep.
You know, I needed somebody to give me details and empower me.
Yeah. And I love that, because that's kind of what I was going to talk about next. Find someone that you connect with, their content, you connect with their mission or vision, and every single online coach out there has free or inexpensive resources, every single one. So if you find a, you know, business coach or mentor, like there are so many coaches out here that have free online trainings. There's so many coaches that have, you know, inexpensive resources. And I can, you know, just to piggyback off what you said, if you message me and ask me a question, I'm not going to not answer you. You know, I mean, if it's a question that I can't answer in a message, I'll be honest, like, hey, that's maybe something that I can't really answer without knowing more about your business. But the fact of the matter is, if you shoot me a message, I'm going to answer it, and I'm going to help you in whatever capacity I can. Same with LeeAnn. Same with pretty much anyone out there who's, you know. So I love that you said that, because yes, like, people are out there to help you, and any coach or business mentor online, like, will have free trainings and or inexpensive resources to help you. Because I know, for example, like, one thing I offer is a $17 social media guide, and that lines out everything for you to build your business.
Oh my goodness, and it's amazing. Like, even though I've been, you know, I took her full coaching session, that social media guide, really, I still use it. And it's like,
well, good, thank you.
Considered like old, you know, to her, but I still use it because, you know, I am a mom of multiple children, and I do run and own a business, and sometimes, you know, everything my social media be kind of for a couple days, so
just gives you
that gives me ideas, and that gives me a something structured to revamp that social media. You know, to spark it back up and wake it up and make it come alive. Because that plan is consistent, and it's alerting the way that you have it.
Well, thank you. This actually took a turn I wasn't expecting, but thank you, because that guide is actually designed to build on itself. It's very intentional as to why you're posting this photo this day, this video this day after it, this, you know, tutorial the next day. It's very detailed, and so that is designed to get you noticeable results with consistency in a month using social media. And then beyond that, I have a $50, it's an almost 2-hour social media in-depth class where I go into very, very detail about social media, branding, how it works. And then beyond that, I have, group programs and then private coaching. So all that to say, like, there are different tiers of investments you can make, and they're all meant to, kind of level you up if you can't just full on start out with like the full coaching package. Mm-hmm. There are things to help you at whatever price point you're at, and that's how pretty much everyone that's going to be offering business help operates. So all that to say that wasn't like a plug to like, hey, buy my stuff. But what
it's
I'm
just
saying
a good start.
Yeah, exactly.
For those of us who can't come out of our pockets for the full pricing of coaching. And once you do something like that, like take a start with that's very affordable, and you still need coaching, mm-hmm. then hopefully that
you have the income.
Mm-hmm. that's increase you and what you know, and your income as well, so that you can afford the coaching that you need to get all the thorough inside details. To do that. So I think it's a great jump start.
Well,
I would call it a jump start.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much.
I do have something else.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So one other thing too is just like something that I'm very, very passionate about is not only just what I do and what I specialize in, but community is very, very important to me. And where I come from, you know, community as stylists is, I just, and this is no diss, this is just awareness, you know. My mission, you know, is to do things differently, because me personally, like going from one level of a stylist in certain environments to transforming and transitioning into where I am now and where I'm going is two totally different worlds. And the world I came from, I feel it needs so much awareness, and so much change needs to be created. And I'm very passionate about bringing that awareness and being the one to step out and create that change for my community, you know, because somebody's got to do the work. Somebody's got to bring awareness, you know, somebody's got to get and say, hey, you know, these generational habits, some of this stuff has to be kind of rearranged to create change and, you know, make things, I would say, raising standards. You know,
generational habits, like you said,
generational habits is
yeah.
passed down, and people are unaware. So that's why I said it's no, you know, nothing, not a put down. It's just people are unaware. So being timely, being professional, not leaving to go get fish while the client under the dryer, or you know, go and pick up my kids and don't say nothing. And Susie under the dryer, she just burned up, and she get back and she just like, well, where did she go?
Right.
You know, like, or the pile up, or just, you know, and that caused me, you know, I saw those things growing up in the salon, getting my hair done as a child, and then now, you know, as a young girl, becoming a stylist and trying to be a business owner as a kid.
Yeah.
I jumped out there and I did all these generational bad habits that I didn't know at the time were bad habits. So
you just accepted it that this is how it is.
that's what I knew. But the one key thing that I did was step outside of my comfort zone, diversify myself. You know, diversity is key to business and key to success, I feel, within any industry. So just stepping outside of my comfortable bubble, my comfortable community bubble, and seeing like what else is there. Like this is off. Something's got to be wrong because of the reactions I was getting from clients back then. You know, and some people, most of us are like, it's so normal that the clients expect to come and sit and wait for 50 hours to get their hair done, and they just make it a full day experience when really, you know, you come get a professional service, you really, things should be done timely and efficiently so that you can work properly and that client is not stuck there all day. You know, they have kids, husbands, and things to do too. So now
respecting their time,
respecting
just like we
their
expect
time.
our time respected. How mad do we get when someone's 15, 20 minutes late and rolling in like it's no big deal? Like,
and just like, hey so girl, offended. You know, and got their Chick-fil-A, and it's like, sis, you was due here 3 hours ago. Like, what happened? You know,
in the same way, we have to respect their time because theirs is just as important as ours.
It's not just the client that, you know, should be expected to be on time. You know, us as a stylist, customer service, this business is based upon customer service. So your attitude, your energy, how you carry yourself, how you have your space, you know, just you're inviting people into that. So you need to take care of that. And then I didn't know. I just thought I was supposed to get up, go to work, and do what I do. You know, my attitude didn't matter or any of that. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It dictates everything.
It dictates everything. And I'm very passionate about just, you know, awareness
raising
raising the standards and becoming, you know, the professional that all of us desire to be, but some of us just, we don't know how. You know, you may not have ever even been in salons where things are operating or running properly and professionally with the clientele that you are dreaming about and desiring in your head. you think you have to put up with certain things. No. Get outside your bubble, network, connect, diversify yourself, your business, and your connections, and you will see a total change. Because what changed with me is mindset, and that's the thing. When your mindset changes, then you start taking off like a rocket.
Yep.
You know, you just like become this empowered woman.
Right?
Don't nobody want no smoke kind of
anybody.
No, don't nobody want no smoke kind of stylist. And
right.
you just, you know, you on your game. You are on your game. So that was something that I really that's like my thing. That's kind of like, you know, my mission. And no stylist is ever going to be perfect. I'm not perfect, but just to know that I'm aware of these things and that it's so many of these things that I've been able to transition out of my business and filter it out. You know, clients really respect that. They really respect me for that, because when you respect someone's time, everybody's on a schedule. Everybody's life is on a schedule. You know, like I like to have clients where they're on a schedule, because it keeps everything into place.
Yep.
Yeah. If everybody can come in and sit around and just have girl talk all day, I don't even know if I want that.
Right.
As clients,
Yeah.
like,
right.
Right?
Like, I got shit to do too.
Right. Like, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have one question. Where do you do the social media class? So I will post the link to the social media class in the comments. It's all online. You buy it and then you have it forever. And it is an hour and 45 minutes broken up into 3 segments, like divided by category. So you can kind of, you know, you can watch it all, but then if you need a refresher, you can kind of go and watch it by segment. And so actually that's $40 on its own, or it's $50 if you want to bundle that with the social media guide. So I will post both of those links in the comments. I want to thank everyone who stuck with us tonight and joined us. I will be putting this on YouTube and kind of emailing this out to people just to get this out there, because I really love, I just love talking with you, and I appreciate you sharing your insights with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I was very excited to share my mission, my journey. I'm always excited to share that. So just to be on Sam's platform, totally honored.
Oh, and I'm honored to have you too. And so I'm just going to go ahead and speak for you. I'm sure if anyone has any questions, they can reach out to you directly.
Absolutely. So on Instagram, I'm Glam by LeeAnn, and Glam by LeeAnn on Facebook is my business page, and LeeAnn Weeden is my personal page. So if you have any questions or just want to connect, I'm here.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
Bye, everyone.